Greetings, survivors of Vulcan. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers Brutal Vulcan. Episode 5. Sometimes the weather just won't cooperate. I should also do the airlock for this, because being in 127 Celsius air is a lot better than 650 Celsius air. So setting up an airlock for the front of the base would be ideal as well. One thing I haven't had the opportunity to do, just because I've been rushing, is to see if any of the solar panels cast shadows on each other. I set it up in this weird diagonal pattern so that they were more efficient. I think they aren't casting shadows on each other, but like I haven't checked for sure because I haven't had breathing room to do that. What's the plan for getting water? There's only one plan. There's only one way to get water, which is to use an H2 combustor, where you take volatile gas, hydrogen gas, oxygen gas, blow it up into steam, 2,500 degree steam, and then evaporate, cool that steam down to liquid water. It's the only way you can get water on hot planets, when ices don't exist. So that's the plan. The plan is to get that set up soon-ish, before I, die. No pressure, just death. No, speaking of which, zoom! I don't need old bottles. I don't care. They cost almost nothing to make, and they don't, whatever. What was I doing? Logic. Grow light logic. Alright, so we need a reader. Logic IO. So this system is really simple. I'm going to actually use that memory out there for the grow light logic. So I need a reader to read the solar angle, and then I need a processor to compare it, and then a writer to tell the grow light to turn on or off. And normally you would in memory, but I'm just repurposing the memory I already have. So I get to nix the memory. I don't require that. I should have just printed 2 IOs, but whatever. Alright, it's getting hot. Closing the door. Oh, did I turn off the vent? No. Good. Yeah, I lowered the temperature of that tank by like 10 degrees. Alright, how many cables do I got? 25 might be enough. It's a 2 IO and logic processor. I'm gonna want my labeler for this. And maybe I'll put the grow light logic right here. Sure, why not? So, reader. I'm gonna actually do a batch writer, because I'm probably gonna have more than one grow light. And then this is going to be a logic compare. Before I do this, let's turn off the grow light, because I suspect this has had enough sunlight for now. Because it doesn't need 24/7 sunlight. That actually hurts the plants. And it was 31 Celsius in there. I should check the pressure. I forgot to, but whatever. I'm going to set this up now. Alright, so logic reader. So this reader is reading the solar angle off of the daylight sensor that we have for the solar power panel, so I'm repurposing that. The logic compare is going to compare the angle to the angle of 90, which I already have written in memory, so I don't need to do that. And then the batch writer is going to tell the grow light to turn on or off, depending on that comparison. That's it. All plugged. Alright, let's label it. Grow light reader. Grow light batch writer. And I'm doing a batch writer because if I have more than one grow light, it will just do all the grow lights at once. And grow light compare. Done. All right, input is going to be the daylight sensor and the solar angle, which currently it is 58. So the way that Stationeers works for solar angle, Stationeers solar angle. The way it works is the sun for solar angle goes from, God, how do I explain it? I'm really bad at explaining this. The solar angle is like 0 to 180 to 0 again. It's like the angle of on the horizon. So a day goes like 0, 180, 0, 0, 180, 0, 0, 180, 0, rather than 360. Because it's like comparing to horizon. Maybe that's like not exactly correct, but that's like the layman's term. So 90 is just like half of a day. So if I set it to 90, it means the grow light is on 50% of the time, roughly speaking. All right. Then the compare is if the solar angle is greater than 90. So the input here is going to be the grow light reader, and then greater than, and then this is going to find the solar tracking memory. So now this is saying, is the solar angle greater than 90? Because the memory is set to 90, which I use for solar tracking. And then if that's true, so this input is going to be pointing at the grow light compare. And then if it's a 1 or a 0, because the compare is either 1 or 0, 1 is true, 0 is false, this will output to all grow lights, whether they are, on or not. Done. Grow light logic is done. That's it. That's all that was needed. All right, now I'm going to set up a base airlock. And for that, I need 2 active vents. Ooh, that's where I'd normally put the passive vents. So maybe I'll put the passive vents up here, or the active vents up there. It's 2 active vents, and, you know, the insulated... so gold, copper, do I have that anywhere? Barely. And this is so that my suit doesn't have to work so hard. You might have noticed that my suit is, like, doing fine now that I'm, like, inside in a 139 Celsius environment. It's not, like, having to work extra hard, because we're keeping the hot day out there. And yes, I know I didn't actually set up a steel, but that's because I want to work my suit less. Because it's already like midday, it's a bit too late for steel. So tonight I'll go mining for the steel and setting it up. Insulated pipes is silicon and steel. And then my electrum I'll set aside. I have just enough steel for this, I think. Actually, no, I don't. Because I'm going to need more steel for the insulated passive vents. So I'll put the vents on the ceiling, so that they don't interfere with the logic. Actually, no, I could do this. Because I only need the insulated passive vent here. I can use a regular passive vent on the other side. Is that true? Nah, I should use an insulated one just in case. I don't want heat bleed. This here is a insulated passive vent, which I could borrow. So I have a regular passive vent here. So I'll do that. Because this here can be a regular pass event, because I'm going to be temperature controlling the base, and then the insulated one I'll borrow. And then I want it dyed orange, because, you know, it should be color-coded. So if you stack things like that, it absorbs the dye. So, like, if you have one green pipe and you shove, like, 19 green pipes into it, they all become green pipes. It's a really helpful way to, like, color-code your stuff. So you only have to, like, spray can once, or whatever. You get the idea. Okay, alright, that part is done. So, we'll need the gas sensor in here, which I am sure I don't have the materials for. Sensor. We'll see how far we can get without having to go mining. So, insulated pass event prevents heat transfer magically. A pass event just allows air to free flow through it, and an insulated one prevents heat transfer, which is like, it doesn't make sense, but it's required for game mechanics. Alright, so this is going to be the gas sensor. I can plug that there. Then we're going to need a console. We're down to 1 gram of gold. And then we're going to need an advanced airlock control, which I will not have the materials for. So I need gold. I think I had a little bit of gold in this belt. No, that's silver. Wires? So I can... Well, I'm basically out of wires. But how much copper do I have in here? 9 grams? So let's turn all 9 grams into 18 wires. So at the very least, I can start wiring this up. So the vents are done. Gas sensor's done. And we have a few extra wires. So I'm going to need to go get copper and gold for stuff. Okay. And because copper and gold has a... Oh, you know what? Let's start filling the... Let's start filling the chamber here, because copper and gold have a lower melt point. So I can just, like, fill the chamber with gas and run my smelting through there. That will make it a lot faster, rather than arc furnacing. At some point, when I have a gas capture system for the arc furnace, we'll run our silver and our gold through the arc furnace. Possibly also our silicon if we want nitrogen. So nitrogen comes off of silicon going through the arc furnace, and then oxygen comes off of silver and gold going through the arc furnace. Oh, actually the regular furnace too, but it's just easier to do it through the arc furnace because of the method of gas capture. It might not make sense, but basically gold and silver will outgas 0-degree oxygen coming off of an arc furnace, whereas if you put it through a regular furnace, it will be like superheated. So if you want to capture oxygen off of an arc furnace, it comes out like cold, which is really, really nice if you arc it, whereas it comes out boiling hot if you regular furnace it. Where was the copper? There was copper here, wasn't there? I swear to God, I saw copper. Whatever, I'll go somewhere else. That's copper right there. Hey, Crimson. Staying cool? Drinks on you? I'm trying to stay cool. Cheers. I mean, it's 500 degrees out, so, like, I'm staying as cool as one can, I suppose. Another thing to do soon is to put a lot more hydro basins, because as soon as those potatoes are done growing, I'm going to want to turn all but maybe one of those potatoes into more potatoes. It depends on how many cereal bars I have. And I'm just going to keep planting potatoes over and over and over and over. So that 1 turns into 3, 3 turns into 9, so on and so forth. Because it's a wee bit needed. Let's do copper first. It is 500 in there, that's fine. This is as long as it's above 370, 327. And then if we put gold through there... Oh, crap. Oh, that was my silver. Okay. Derp. Yeah, I'm good at this. If we put gold through there, you'll notice the gas makeup in there is like nitrogen. So see, there's oxygen generating from the gold. That's the whole, like, getting oxygen off of your furnace. But the thing is, in this furnace, it is combusting with the volatiles, so that's why I'm losing it. It's not outgassing anywhere, it's just combusting. Alright, have that. Obviously, cycling the airlock like this is going to introduce hot gas back in here, so I'm going to have to do another base flush tonight. But that's fine. Alright, what was I doing? The base airlock. So we're going to want... the airlock console, and then the glass for the screen. And here's our data disk. And then silicon's in there, so... Oh, stop. I don't need silver. Oh, set that aside. This is gonna... Nope. Damn it. Glass. Alright, did I name these doors? No. Base exterior door. Base interior door. Base interior vent. Base exterior vent. Base airlock. Gas sensor. Then if I search for base, it will filter the devices, the exterior door, the interior door, the exterior vent, the interior vent, the gas sensor. Set all of these to 0 so they don't bother pressurizing. Also because, like, the pressure outside is going to be hyper variable. And now we have an airlock. Now, ironically... it's hotter outside than it is inside because it just cooled down for the day. So, actually, you know what? It doesn't even matter because I'm going to be using carbon dioxide. So, next task is... oh boy. I want to make the inside of the base temperate. Or actually, prep for more potatoes. What is the oxygen percentage to start filtering out to the greenhouse? Whenever I need oxygen, really, honestly. So here's what I'm gonna do. Boop. Oh, crap. Never mind. It's a storm. It's an ash storm. Woo! Well, glad I had my airlock. That could have been worse. Alright, let's drink, I guess, and eat. I cracked a hole and I was like, oh crap. Yeah, because this is what an ash storm looks like. So my solar power panels are getting pummeled all there, but you know, whatever. And my grow light is on. So the grow light logic works and I can see the plants are growing. Let's deal with my immediate needs. 54 Celsius. I can live with that.
Temperature high.
It sucks, but like, cope. And this should be, like, basically pure oxygen. Just a little bit of carbon dioxide for me, like, breathing. Turn it off. Open the door. Good. Alright, so the airlock's done. I am going to prep for more potatoes by making hydro basins. And my iron is in there. Or hydro trays. Keep calling them basins, but they're not basins. I finished an airlock just in time. Yeah, I did say, like, the first week is a freebie. Oh, one fun bug. You can throw things through a door. So I just put my hydroponic basins, like, where they need to be. With that said, flares is trash. I'm never going to really need flares, so into the storm you go. It's an exploit, but, like, I don't think it's an egregious one. Which is why I'm fine with it. So I put 2 in there. I have 6 total. We'll do... 7's fine. And we have got... So it's 55 kPa. When the airlock cycles the other way, it will be more pressurized. It's important to note. So, we have room to grow now. And they're thriving. I could print out a plant analyzer to figure out exactly their conditions, but, like, I'm not that curious. I mean, if they're growing, they're growing. It is 2 moles of oxygen so far. It's not a lot of oxygen. But it is becoming oxygenated. The next task is going to be related to that. And I love how I spelled more up there. Mro. We are going to build a O2 recycler / filter. Because I have a lot of, like, oxygen tanks that I could be doing something with. So that means over here, let's close this, we need an atmo. And this atmospheric system is going to be an oxygen filter. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be setting up an oxygen filter in the grow light room. Where can I put this? Data disk is in the ceiling. I'll never remember. Oh my god. Data disk is here. So I'm going to be putting in atmospheric filter for oxygen in there, fed by a passive vent. So passively, oxygen comes in. Well, air from the room comes in, and then we'll filter the oxygen and dump the carbon dioxide back to the room. Which means we'll need 2 pipes to build the thing.
Waste tank caution.
Apparently I need another waste tank. Oh yeah, I do. And I should top up my air tank. But all these waste tanks will soon... I'll be able to grab the oxygen out of them again. So pipes, atmosphere kit, re-top up our oxygen. Then, filter. So oxygen filter. We'll need 2 passive vents. And then, like, a lot of piping. So let's put this in here. Actually, I could throw it through the door. Oh, no, guess not that time. I don't want to, like, trigger clang. Passive vents. And they don't need to be insulated passive vents. Unnecessary. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to prep steel because, you know, we have an ash storm going on. So I'm locked in. It's still going, as you can see. All right, 2 passive vents. And then we will also need a lot of cables. And then insulated piping, which I'm going to need to get silicon and steel for. So that's going to be the project for tomorrow. But I can set up some of the cabling for it now. And this is so that I can have a supply of oxygen. So that I can combust it into water. And then so that I can breathe it. Because eventually, this tank will run dry. It still has how many moles of oxygen? So this still has 1,300 moles of oxygen. Whereas each one of these canisters have... well, that's not a canister. I was reading the room. To read a canister, I need to put it down. Whoop. These have like 50 moles each or so. So that's a lot of oxygen there that, like, I don't want to go to waste. Which is why I'm trying to capture it so that I can combust it into water. Because once I have a supply of oxygen, I can start filtering volatiles from the atmosphere and combining the oxygen that I'm getting from my recaptured tanks and oxygen that I'm getting from the potatoes, combusting it with the atmospheric volatiles to turn it into steam, and then I'll cool that steam down into drinkable water for both the potatoes, which I drink maybe the equivalent of like 4,000 potatoes worth of water. So like the amount of water the potatoes are using are pretty nominal compared to what I'm using, but basically so that we have a feedback loop. I grab carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, the potatoes turn that carbon dioxide into oxygen, I breathe that oxygen, I take extra oxygen, combine it with the volatiles from the atmosphere, combust it into steam, condense the steam into water, and then drink the water and feed that back to the potatoes. And once I have maybe like 60 or 70 potatoes, something like that, unless I go to ferns, it becomes a feedback loop where I'm gaining resources rather than losing. Alright, it's still hell outside. Yep. So, let's set this up. This is going to get a little cramped. But you know, it's just the constraints of the challenge. This, I would have made a bigger room, but a bigger room would have meant more carbon dioxide and more cooling. So, in goes, in here, in goes, the air from the room, right? So this is intaking room air. The waste, the unfiltered stuff, is just the carbon dioxide I didn't end up using. So the unfiltered stuff is the CO2 I want remaining in the room. And then the filtered stuff coming off the end there is going to be my oxygen. Which I'm going to be putting into insulated pipes and then a insulated utility tank. All right, how much water do I have in this system? So 11.8 liters in this pipe network. And then the water canister has like the remainder, basically, because the potatoes almost don't use water. What's the pressure in here when I cycle the airlock? Um, 66? Cool. Alright, let's cycle it back. $57? $56? I'm going to add a tiny bit of carbon dioxide. I don't want to shock the potatoes. As long as it stays below, like, 50, I think they're fine. But I added a little bit more carbon dioxide. At some point, I'll cool this carbon dioxide so that it's, like, safe to use. But, you know, that's not now. There we go. We have the first set of the plumbing done. Hey, I can go outside again. So let's, right now, current priority is make steel and silicon. Don't need that. Oh god, that's going to take a while to outgas. Andres and Gecko Bear, thank you for the resubs. Pleasure to have you here. My suit and waste tanks look fine. Okay, yep. Everything looks fine. I just need to focus on the iron and the coal for the steel. So steel first, then silicon, because silicon can, of course, be arc furnaced. So it's not necessary to put it through the regular furnace. It's a shortcut, but not a demanding one. Now, it is midday. It's, like, ideal temp right now. So, I may have missed the window thanks to the ash storm. I'm not certain. We'll see. Is it problematic that my base is on a lava-filled chasm? I mean, that's just Vulcan. That's the whole planet is like that. And then I need to repair my solar panels at some point, but that's less urgent, because I don't think I'm going to get into that ash storm for a bit. What's in here? Oh, the port's open. Okay. Thought it wasn't letting me put stuff in. Frickin' stop drifting. Because I'm out gassing the furnace, it's like making me float around. Alright, I need a little bit more iron for the first batch. Oh, the flares survived. The lander can did not. My lander can went poof. The flares did not die, apparently. But as you can see, the can is dead. The can got destroyed by the storm. So if I hadn't taken the food and water out of there, I would have lost it, in other words. All right, that's all the iron I need. Now for the coal. So the solar panels got 50% or 49% damage or something, and it's really easy to fix that. I'm just going to uninstall them, reinstall them, probably at night, so I don't lose solar power generation. You can fix them also with, like, glass and duct tape, but, like, I'm not going to bother. It is technically hot enough to make steel, but I might have missed the window, just because of the amount of gas that's already in the furnace. We'll see. Yeah, because it's 370 in there. And it's going to take a minute for me to heat it back up. And it's too cold outside. So yeah, I'm not going to bother. We missed the window for steel. So we'll prep it for tomorrow. But I can't do it today. Then the other thing I wanted was silicon. There's some right there. Hey, Treebar. Thanks for resubbing. Yeah, I'm on Vulcan now. May you live long and prosper, right? Oh, and Wishbringer too. Welcome to the chaos. It's always a little unnerving when you're mining and all of a sudden there's like a sudden gust of wind. You're like, uh-oh. Because a gust of wind means like a pressure differential, and a pressure differential might mean like, oh, I just hit magma. Now there is a gurgling noise when you get close to the magma that I would demonstrate to you if I was willing to potentially sacrifice my life. But yeah, when you get really close to the magma, you'll hear like a bubbling noise. Which means, turn back. Because unlike Dwarf Fortress where there's magma smelters, there ain't no magma smelters here. There's just death. Death awaits you. Oh, my uptime is all sorts of wrong. I'll fix that. I forgot to do that at the start of the stream. My bad. There you go. Alright, 108 silicon will have to do for now. There we go. While I'm out here, let's fix the solar panels one at a time. So you can just crowbar off the glass, remove the panel, and stick the panel and the glass back on, and it's now 100%. Because my my kit battery is basically full, I'm not like losing power because there's nowhere to put the power. The battery's already full. This makes them ready for next storm. At some point, I will enclose them in glass walls. It slightly lowers their efficiency, but it makes them not get destroyed by the storm, so ultimately that's the thing to do. I'm not doing it right now, because there's more pressing things to work on. Okay, the steel's ready. So tomorrow, when it's hot enough outside, I'll pump in gas, Atmo gas, into the furnace, and we'll make a batch of steel. While we work on that, maybe I vacuum out the base. So that it can start filling it with carbon dioxide and start chilling it. So, make steel and replace base Atmo, we'll call it. How's the taters look? Not fully grown, but close. Alright, vacuuming this out's pretty easy. I'm just gonna, yeah, I mean, pretty straightforward. Remove gas from base. And I don't require steel for that, which is why I can work on that right now. Because eventually the base will be vacuum. Once it's vacuumed out, I don't need insulated because, you know, once it's vacuumed, there's no gas left in it to heat up. So, basic passive pipes and vents are fine. Yeah, I'm doing a lot, so missing a little command is minutia. Thanks for the understanding. Just juggling 1,000 things, one drops. All right, it is almost dark ambient temp out. Cool. Is a full flush needed, or would filtering suffice? Full flush is needed. Might as well, because the carbon dioxide in here is as about as cold as it can be. And let's keep adding to it. So I'm doing a full flush, because in here, filtering out all of the volatiles, pollutants, you know, I don't need any of this stuff. I'm losing a little bit of carbon dioxide, but I'm losing hotter carbon dioxide that I want to put in. So I might as well full flush. What else can I work on while I do this? I can do my food and water, because I'm thirsty and hungry. Just checking if it was vacuum. Making sure that vent wasn't off, or I'd, like, suck out my own oxygen. Okay.
Temperature high.
Nom nom. Drinky winky. Oh, damn it. Whee! Never gets old. Okay, the base is 2 Pascal. I really want the volatiles out. I don't want them combusting. And the pollutants, because it's not very good for me. So we'll just keep going until it's true vac. And then it's pretty simple. I'll just replace that air vent over here and push carbon dioxide into base. Carbon dioxide. So I'm using carbon dioxide just because it's a plentiful, non-combustible gas. Right? It's not going to explode. It's not going to kill me unless I, you know, while I'm in my suit. That's why I'm using it. As you can see, it takes a while to get every last particle out. IRL, a true vacuum, is freaking hard to make. But at least in game, it's not. So now, room 57, which is apparently the name of my room, is room 26. I'm checking everything. Room 46. Room 54. Yep, we're vacked. We're in true vacuum now. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers Vulcan, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Radamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Radamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow astronauts.